Welcome to Nifty and Banknifty analysis in under 7 minutes with the top stocks. Starting things off with Nifty hourly chart. What we can see here is कि 835 के ऊपर close हुआ है, but the real question is if it is able to close above 835 tomorrow. You see, there are multiple reasons for that. First thing being कि I think it's been 5 times where Nifty has managed to close above 15,835, but neither one of those times it has actually closed above 835 consecutively. Basically, एक से ज्यादा बार कभी consecutively back to back close नहीं हुआ 835 के ऊपर, which is a very important sign. Basically क्या होता है कि अगर 835 ऊपर कल क्लोज हो जाता है, then I think 900 levels can be expected. Interestingly, last time भी I think Thursday को ही गिर गया था एकदम sharply 835 के ऊपर रह के. So let's see what happens this time. Maybe it will test higher levels. So the main key focus I think might be Infosys. Results are obviously upcoming. So IT I think has been dragging for the past 3 or 4 sessions, which means कि tomorrow maybe Infosys may make or break at least part of Nifty because it has weightage, right? It is the third weighted stock, third heaviest weighted stock of Nifty. So देखते हैं क्या होता है. We'll also look at Infosys today. But for now, levels देख लेते हैं. 835 is the most important level. 880 is definitely a level. In fact, आज का जो high है वो I think 880 के just नीचे था. उसके ऊपर जो level है 915 is the marked level, which is actually the all-time high level. So that is what I'm seeing. RSI is just below 50, just below 60 on the hourly chart, which is okay. Just quick daily chart देख लेते हैं. The daily chart looks very good. Close above yesterday's high, higher low, which is all good. And this is the highest close in 7 days, which is a good sign obviously. Now coming to Bank Nifty. बैंक निफ्टी देख लेते हैं फटाफट से. डेली चार्ट लुक्स अ लिटिल लेस स्ट्रॉन्ग कंपेयर्ड टू निफ्टी, बट ठीक है, उतना भी खराब नहीं है. हायर लो है. सिर्फ क्लोज इज नॉट अबव येस्टरडेज हाई, विच इज नॉट दैट ग्रेट, बट इट इज ऑनेस्टली नॉट द बिग डील, आई वुड से. द रीजन फॉर दैट इज बिकॉज 35,815 का रेजिस्टेंस जो हम लोग ने कल बात किया था इज स्टिल देयर फॉर बैंक निफ्टी. बुलिश चैनल के अंदर है, ऑल ग्रांटेड, बट 35,815 का रेजिस्टेंस विल बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कल मैंने बोला था कि हायर लोज बना रहा है एंड द हाइज आर रफली स्टेइंग द सेम एट 35,800. इन दैट केस शायद ब्रेकआउट हो सकता है. सो आई थिंक एंड आई स्टिल मेंटेन दैट इफ कल एक हायर हाई बना सकता है, बेसिकली इफ टुमारो इट इज एबल टू होल्ड अबाउट 35,500 इश आई वुड से, और 35,500 ish I would say, then there's a good chance we see Bank Nifty actually breaking up above that 35,800 resistance, which will obviously pave the way for higher levels. That would actually mean that Bank Nifty closes higher for the first time since March. So, almost 5 mahine, which is a great sign. Now coming to the top stocks analysis, to start karte hain Reliance se, and Reliance mein what we can see is that it's actually filled in that gap, which is not a very good sign. But Reliance has this tendency कि whenever the market is in a little bullish bias, market breadth जब थोड़ा सा bullish bias में रहता है, many times Reliance will actually be dragging the market down. You can observe this if you want to, and this has happened multiple times. So that is what we are seeing with Reliance. उतना कुछ noteworthy नहीं है. 2080 के ऊपर है, which is a good sign. Coming to HDFC Bank, we can see that it's made a higher high and a higher low just barely. उतने से नहीं बना, but फिर भी I think that's not a very big problem, I would say. It's a spinning top, which is not the greatest, but that's still fine, I think. RSI is above 50, bullish bias is still maintained. In my view, next coming to the star of the show, I would say, कल का जो decider रहने वाला है, which is Infosys. Very strong candle today. 2%. Now this possibly happens because pre-results, pre-earnings, many people might have some shorts or something. Short cover करके शायद ऊपर चला गया होगा. पर जो लास्ट आवर या कुछ है, लास्ट आवर के अंदर we saw some selling happening, which might be some clue into what might happen today. Because if we see here, ठीक है, 80H levels के आसपास है, holding those levels is a great thing, but it is right at resistance level. This is where the price rejection has happened earlier. So Infosys, even though the results have actually missed the street estimates, it might be very interesting to see what actually happens with Infosys. So let's see how that goes. Next stock is actually HDFC. HDFC में हम लोग क्या देख सकते हैं? Good buying happening at lower levels, even though today was a bit of a negative day, so that's okay. Again, I think the swing positivity is only going to be really seen above these levels, so that's fine. जैसा उसको होना है वैसा हो सकता है. Next stock is ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank is, all these banks are forming almost inside bars except जो high है वो थोड़ा high है. So we are seeing 665 resistance on a closing basis for ICICI Bank, which might just be the start of a double top. So that is what I would personally, be a little cautious about. RSI is above 60, so that's a great sign. Momentum is still there. But overall, I think it is very important for ICICI Bank not to firstly breach today's low, which is the spinning tops low, and secondly hold this gap. अगर ये gap fill हो गया, then शायद थोड़ा सा momentum lose हो सकता है. So let's see how that goes. Next stock is Kotak Bank. Kotak Bank में हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि it is once again almost an inside bar pattern. RSI above 50, bullish bias is there. Higher high is there, higher low is there, but it is not very reassuring. 1760 का level नहीं cross कर पाया. आज का high था 1758. So that should tell us something. Again, 1760 के ऊपर ही I'm really expecting some good positivity. SBI we can see higher low, higher high and a lower low, which means कि possibly थोड़ा range में चल रहा है फिलहाल. It does not have the strength and the stamina to close that high or retain higher levels, but there is also buying happening at lower levels. ये gap भी fill कर लिया है, which is a good sign. In fact, a couple of stocks have filled in the gap today, which is very interesting. 420 hold करता है, then it's a good sign. Axis Bank, we can see good buying happening at lower levels, which is a good sign. I think जो previous range breakout का level था, that has acted as a support today, which is a good sign. RSI above 60, yet another good sign. So let's see how Axis Bank goes. Again, it is not extremely well placed because यहाँ पे resistances है, price rejection है, but still not the worst stock, I'd say. So by the way, if you're curious about Zomato's IPO, which is the talk of the hour, my video on Zomato's IPO has reached more than 1,500 views in just under 24 hours. So make sure you check that out. It'll be the video linked in the end screen. That's it for this one. See you in the next, and happy trading.